They did win at Leigh last summer. 30 points to 6. So that will give them some encouragement. So Leigh trying to restrict a fired-up Dewsbury Rams side. Here's Brambani. Haven't seen a 40-20 so far this evening. Well, he's got that with the outside of his boot, and it's gone out on the full. So first error in this second half comes from the Rams. It's gone out on the full, and Leigh will get the ball back on the Rams 40-metre line, 20-metre line, I should say. Head and feed it'll be to the Centurions. So a mistake from, unlikely mistake from Brambani, whose kicking is normally excellent.
Well, that's a dangerous play. The angle wasn't quite there, and kicking on the second play, they haven't chewed up the yards, making it an easy kick for Brambani, but now Leigh in a good position.
Here's Robbie Hunter-Paul and Nanin. Built like a prop forward, Mick Nanin, playing in the centres.
Well, Brambani really manned up on defence now. I'm sure his coach's words still ringing in his ears, and we'll get Rod Studd's words on the coaches and the messages, but a fascinating game in prospect here for the next 30-odd minutes.
Here's Ellis, Ridyard, and that was a obstruction, was it? Says referee Stokes. No, there was a shove off the ball.
Well, you can see that Martin Ridyard is having a right go at one of his teammates. I think it's Sam Hopkins that he's having a go at. There you can see the interference when he just runs into Spicer, who's in jersey number 39 now.
Well, there he is, I think, in possession, Rob Spicer. Chance to go down to the sidelines and hear from Rod Studd.
Well, Warren Jarrett, very pleased so far, Bill, as you'd expect the Dewsbury coach. He said this is the kind of form they were showing at the start of the season, just wants his team to stick to their guns, and the message was, this is our final 40 minutes of this season, and we're playing to stay up. Just remember that. That's what he said to his players as they went out. As far as Ian Millward's concerned, just saying for the first time this season, he reckons his team were out-enthused and out-muscled in the first 40 minutes of a game, and he's called for them to up their effort and up their tempo in this second period, Bill.
That's okay.
Thanks, Rod. Here is Rob Spicer, new shirt, new strapping round the head by the look of things as well. Tell you what, the kit man must be busy here at Dewsbury Rams. Kit numbers up to 46 so far, I think, 47. High kick well dealt with by Donlan.
Well, a good take from Donlan, nice and confident. There's a good chase as well from Dewsbury. This is where they need to pin Leigh down. Never took his eyes off the ball. Copyboot catch.
Wait, go.
They've done a very good job. From marker, they've worked very hard. They've nominated, they've stepped out, and they've realised where the danger's coming from. Robbie Paul again, he gets out from dummy half. He's very dangerous when he goes from dummy half, causes an awful lot of problems.
All okay, he's clear. Sorry, Jamie.
Buchanan will field the ball, score that wonder try at the end of the first half to level the scores. That's where we're at 22 all.
Win tackle 1, win tackle 2. Warren Jarrett will be saying, we look very good when we play the ball with a lot of speed.
Here's Barlow. Nanin in with the tackle. Here's Brambani. This time the kick stays on the field. It's a good deep one, but Donlan takes that very comfortably. Made that look easy, Donlan.
Well, defensively, they've stepped up in this second half, Leigh Centurions. They're getting numbers in. They're slowing the rucks down. They're working very, very hard after contact. As soon as contact's made, you can see them working very hard to turn them onto the back.
It's okay.
But Dewsbury must match up here now.
So Leigh dominated possession really at the start of this second half. And here's Mills. Oh, great offload from Mills, finds Hill, and Hill, what a step from him, and strength, footwork. And first try of the second half goes for Warrington Wolves bound prop Chris Hill, his 7th of the season. And great athleticism from a front rower that was from Hill. And that's what Leigh have been doing this season to sides.
Well, what I want you to do, I want you to look up and play with a bit of vision. And it's Chris Hill who actually tips the ball on to David Mills. He wraps around the back. And what about the footwork from Chris Hill? Look at this. It's the twos play between the two props. He goes around the back, he follows Mills, he steps off his right foot, he beats Spicer, and then he goes straight through James Craven. And this is the attacking danger of Leigh Centurions. If you give him enough field position, they will punish you. And there's none better in this division than Chris Hill.
Scrum cap removed. Chris Hill. Homegrown product. And the last Leigh Centurions prop to score a hat-trick as well. McNannon knows all about that. Scored plenty of those in his career. Kicked plenty of goals as well. Nannin. On target. And the Centurions go back in front, 28 points to 22.
Well, it looks like Ian Millward has got his wish. The enthusiasm that they showed in defence meant that they caught the ball 45 metres in the field of play, trucked all the way up to their opposition's line, and a wonderful piece of interplay from the front rowers gives them the first points of the second half.
Crossley in with the tackle, Lockwood there as well. And here's Mills now. Spicer. Rob Spicer now wearing number 47. He's gone from 11 to 47, Rob Spicer, in the course of this game. And Anthony England has changed numbers as well at half-time, just to add to the fun out there. He's now number 39.
Like bingo.
Ellis has gone for a 40-20, but he hasn't got the angle right, and Buchanan runs the ball back.
But again, Leigh weren't defending like this in the first half. Numbers in, 3 men, peel off, work together, nominate where you're going to go. Stuart Little are getting the A, B and C defenders, the 3 tight defenders close to the ruck, moving off the line very quickly, taking the yardage from Dewsbury.
There's Wainwright, Tom Armstrong in with the tackle, and Hill trying to drive into touch. Referee calls held. Certainly a bit more sting you sense from the Centurions defensively early in this second half. Maybe stung themselves by the words of their coach. That's the 5th tackle as the Rams approach the 40-metre line inside the Leigh half, and Walker puts a kick in. Brambani chasing it for all he's worth down the middle of the field. McGilvery comes across. He's been burned once already in this game by a kick that he let bounce.
Well, that's the arm wrestle we talk about, going set for set, placing the ball near your opposition's line, challenging them to run away, just as Steve Maiden nearly breaks the line of Dewsbury.
Andy Smith got a knock there, hobbling in back play. Leigh inside their own half, play the ball with Robbie Hunter-Paul, and it was an incorrect play the ball, and referee Stokes telling Steve Maiden that he should have got to his feet to play that ball.
Well, he's got to make sure he's in just his haste to get up and play this ball.
Well, I've seen them go the other way. I'm sure Dewsbury won't be challenging the ref. It's their turn now to have a crack at the line. Great shot from Chris Hill.
Here is Pat Walker, now Crossley, but Robbie Hunter-Paul up there quickly, and so was David Mills, but Crossley still made a couple of metres for his side. 28-22, the Centurions lead here. Brambani, oh, that was forward.
Oh. Poor timing of the run. Poor timing. Very unfortunate. And Dominic Brambani, furious with himself. or furious with his teammates, should I say. James Craven. American football pass.
Elliot Cosgrove was well in front when he collected that pass. Here's Nannin, and Nannin closed down quickly by Pat Walker. Patrick Walker, sponsored by a church, believe it or not, by a church from Matlock in Derbyshire. An unlikely pairing, a rugby league player and a... No.
Oh, God's a big fan of rugby league.
Here's Robbie Hunter-Paul. Mount Tabor Church it is in Matlock. Sponsors Pat Walker. Here's Littler. The crowd sensed that was another forward pass. Certainly flat. Here is Ellis, and that pass goes to ground. Sam Hopkins couldn't collect it, and Leigh back to the ways of the first half when there were glimpses of their best form and then mistakes like that.
Well, that was a forward pass. Jamie Ellis trying the no-look pass. You see lots of rugby players looking at the player behind as if you're going to throw it behind, and then just hitting the man in the front door. The execution didn't match the ambition.
Dewsbury with 2 home wins under their belts in the last couple of home games, which has given them a bit of confidence going into this game. Hammered by Featherstone Rovers last time out, though, away. No shame in that. Plenty of other sides have been hammered by Featherstone. Here's Rob Spicer in that number 47 now. Warren Jowett has used 42 players in the Rams' 26 league and cup matches so far this season. That's a good kick. That's a great kick. Chase was strong, but the shot was high, yeah.
Very unfortunate. Elliot Cosgrove, in his haste and hurry to chase that kick. Stuart Donlan, he was messing about and faffing around in the in-goal, trying to will it out of the plate. Here you go, you can't let that rugby league ball bounce. It bounces up, and there's the penalty.
Stuart Donlan celebrated his 33rd birthday last weekend in his second spell at his hometown club. Captain of the side, lifted the Northern Rail Cup. Here's Ellis now. Ellis, little dummy, and then he's off. He's had a quiet night. The pass finds McGilvray, but the cover is coming across. McGilvray will play the ball on the 20-metre line. Robbie Hunter-Paul, here is Ellis now. 4 tackles gone. Leigh looking to turn the screw here, maybe. Ridyard, Donlan, here's Littler. Good defence from the Rams again on their own try line. That's the 5th tackle. Robbie Hunter-Paul stubs the kick in, and they'll get the ball back, will Leigh. They'll have to drop out underneath their own posts again, will the Rams.
Well, Pat Walker pushes this ball off the island. He knows he's got to get rid of it. Chris Hill, Johnny on the spot. Here's the break. Jamie Ellis, the show and go. And look at Stuart Littler right in the middle of the pitch. He works hard. He doesn't get it. Goes across the face of him to Dean McGilvray. You said it in the first half. He was very quiet. Needs to impose himself more on this game.
28-22 then. Leigh Centurions lead. Hoping for a monster win here this evening just to stay in contention at the top of the table, maybe make Featherstone Rovers sweat, but it looks as though Featherstone are going to secure that top spot now. They go to Widnes on Sunday. Knock on, though, by Leigh Centurions and Sam Hopkins.
Well, Hopkins makes the mistake, but you can see Dewsbury getting numbers in yet again, and he just fumbles the ball as he's going to ground under no real pressure. But they need to make sure that they conserve some energy. 55 tackles more Dewsbury have made than Leigh Centurions, and that will be draining when you look at the size of some of the Centurions players.
Here's Aidan Farrell. 2 tackles gone. Now Wainwright scored a great try in the first half himself for Michael Wainwright. Brambani, Lockwood. It's a good break from him. Oh, and then the ball goes to ground. Referee will bring him back for the knock-on.
What a break from Matty Nicholson. Again running hard and strong. He made a big difference when he came on in the first half. Brambani drops him off. There's the gap, there's the space. He's looking for support. And there's nothing wrong with the pass. Elliot Cosgrove can't. I don't know whether the physio in the orange shirt might have been the better option.
Former Giants Academy player Elliot Cosgrove. That ball just wouldn't stick, and he was probably conscious of the space ahead of him. Meanwhile, Leigh have come up with a knock-on at the scrum, and it'll be head and feed to the Rams.
You know, there's a lot of things in this game that have not gone for Leigh Centurions, but you've got to say it's Dewsbury that seem to be working hard, and Robbie Hunter-Paul, one of the most experienced players in the game over here. It's him who makes that mistake.
Here's Craven now. Now Brambani.
If there's been a negative in this second half about Dewsbury, is the amount of players waiting back for the next play and not pushing up and playing play for play.
Well, they're pushing up now. 3 tackles gone. Lockwood plays the ball. 3 tackles. And Fletcher, Richard Fletcher, who played for Barrow earlier on in the season. Craven now, and Buchanan almost went without that and goes to ground well.
Austin, on the ball.
On the last, the chip over the top. And Dewsbury will get the ball back. A good kick it was. Good chase as well. Fletcher leading the way there. Scottish international Richard Fletcher, 31 years of age now.
And that just puts into perspective what Austin Buchanan did. He knew he needed to stay on the island. Wasn't the best pass. Took the tackle. Fantastic kick. And Richard Fletcher just tightens the screw.
Come, Nick. Stand back on.
Nick Nannin taking his time here. Doesn't get great distance on that. And Spicer lets it bounce. Hayden Fowle comes back for it. So can the Rams hit back? Done that on numerous occasions so far this evening. Nash taking his time in that play the ball. Here's Spicer once more. Very vociferous crowd here at the Tetley Stadium. Most of them are underneath our commentary position. Here's Brambani. Little skip and a step from him, but runs into trouble. Gets the penalty, though. Second effort from Robbie Hunter-Paul.
Well, Brambani works for this penalty. He works very hard. His urgency to get up and play this ball forces Robbie Paul to have another little tug at him. And they've got 6 tackles on the line of the Leigh Centurions.
Hold, go. One, hold,
Wainwright
go. You're getting knocked for the thrashing.
plays the ball. Here's Nicholson now, scorer of a first half try. Former Stanley Junior Maddie Nicholson. Here's Lockwood. Brambani goes himself, and has he got that down? He couldn't stretch out Dominic Brambani. Good defence on the line from Steve Nash. Luke Blake, Lockwood trying to bounce him off. That's 5 tackles gone. Will they go for a little grubber kick or come up with a power play? The grubber kick it is. Buchanan has got there. I think he's got the try. Austin Buchanan, has he got a second try? Ian Smith is going to have to look at the grounding here.
What an intelligent player Dominic Brambani is. Does Austin Buchanan time this run to perfection? Well, from that, you would say that he's onside. Does he gather this ball and then ground it for the try?
It's a difficult angle to tell. This will be the best one, Tez. Gets one hand to it. Does he keep hold of it? Oh!
That's a try, surely.
Do you know, he's come up with some big plays defensively, offensively. Say left winger, he scored right in half-time with his sheer urgency and commitment to chase the ball. And again, He's put himself in the right position.
I think he fumbles it or possibly drops it, but I'd love to see it given to keep the hope alive for Dewsbury.
Ian Smith, the video ref, communicating with referee George Stokes, who says it's no try. Austin Buchanan fumbled that ball. The man himself looks to the skies in disbelief.
Do you know, you could look at this and think that it's a negative that they've not scored the try, but the positives are they're getting over the whitewash and they keep turning up in the right place. Unfortunately, Austin Buchanan couldn't get this ball, but just have a look at him in this next set of 6.
Again, Dewsbury really willing to come back off the ropes. They trail 28-22 here, but each time Leigh have threatened to get away with it, the Rams have come back at them. And look at that big hit, and Spicer in there, and he gets the plaudits of his teammates. What a tackle that was. When was that in the middle of the season when they went 12 games on the trot without a win?
Rob Spicer comes right out the line. He knows James Taylor's getting it. There's no technique in that shot. He's just running as hard as he can, targets the ball. James Taylor drops it. And look at it. Look at what it means to these Dewsbury players.
Here's James Craven, the fullback. Well, a bonus points as we enter the last quarter is not going to be enough, surely, for the Dewsbury Rams, you feel? A draw might just be enough, but they've got to go for all 3 here.
I'm sure they're going for 3 points.
That ball's gone to ground. Brambani then is nailed by the follow-up tackle. It's from Goulden. Nicholson. That's the 5th tackle. They haven't really made much progress since they won possession with that great tackle from Spicer, and that kick is too strong.
Well, he was looking to get Austin Buchanan free, but just too much on that ball. Who's his safe man? Well, it's Austin Buchanan on the left wing. As Dean McGilvray, he comes to this side, knowing that Austin Buchanan's not in position.
Just wonder whether the pace of this is going to catch up with Dewsbury. They've done a lot of tackling. It was 132 at half-time, and they've had to do a lot more since.
Well, adrenaline can do a lot to a player, and I think Dewsbury are on adrenaline at the minute. Fueled by the coach, fueled by this crowd, who don't want to go down. Championship Rugby League means a lot to this area, and this club particularly.
Now here's Goulden, and that's the 5th tackle. As Ridyard stabs the kick in, it ricochets all over the place, and it's in Dewsbury hands now.
Well, they get the ball back, and Brambani straight away, as soon as he went behind dummy half, he was saying to his team, calm down. The ball comes off Brambani, it's picked up by his teammate, but they just need to make sure that they play with a bit of composure here. Don't come up with a miracle play just because they're trailing by 6 points.
Buchanan plays the ball just on his own 20-metre line. And that's the 5th tackle. Leigh doing well this set to restrict the progress of this Rams side. That's a good deep kick. Walker it was with the kick. And the Leigh Centurions will tap on the 20.
They'll still be happy with that kick. It goes out of play, but you can see they're all condensed, they're all set in the line. The Leigh play is still trying to get behind the ball to bring it forward. Martin Ridyard trying to help out his forwards, who've done an awful lot of work in this second half.
Armstrong took a heavy shot there. Here's Steve Nash now. Just inside his own half, Nash, as he plays the ball. Duffy back on. Now here's Chris Hill. Distinctive red scrum cap. Although McNanning's got a red scrum cap on as well. Ellis, Ridyard back on the inside for Donlan. Donlan outside to Nannin. Nannin. Ball out wide to McGilvray, and he's tackled. 4 tackles gone. Duffy drills the kick in, and the Rams sweep it up. Blake it was, I think, covering.
Again, Dewsbury, they're finding the energy from somewhere. They've been under an awful lot of pressure. They even look to shift the ball to Buchanan, try and catch Leigh on the edge.
Well, he's the crackerjack for Dewsbury, but sweet hands from the Leigh Centurions on their left edge.
It's Pat Walker who was tidying up. Luckily for the Rams, as that grubber kick came through, and there is Pat Walker. That's the fifth tackle, and again, as Menzies plays the ball, the Rams struggling to make progress, and again Walker thumps that ball downfield. McGilvray takes the pace off it, and then runs it back.
They are struggling for yards at the minute. It's good contact from Leigh Centurions in the tackle, working very hard to get the Dewsbury players onto the ground. And again, Leigh Centurions, they look to shift it.
Maiden screamed inside to Armstrong as he came across there, and Armstrong, the youngster, duly obeyed the instructions, and now it's Ridyard. Nash.
They are getting away with some line balls, aren't they, Leigh Centurions?
That was flat, that says, flat as an ironing board.
Here is Ridyard now, and Goulden motoring onto it. Ridyard in support, and Ridyard will go in for another Leigh Centurions try, their second of this second half. And maybe now they're starting to assert their authority here tonight, the Centurions. And it was Goulden with the break, the Irish international, and Martin Ridyard, as he is so often, in support for try number 20 of his season.
Well, he's a very talented player, Martin Ridyard, and you just want him to get his hands onto the ball, because you know when he does, things seem to happen for this Leigh Centurion side. Jamie Ellis and Martin Ridyard have not had it all their own way in this game, and you can see that their urgency to take the ball to the line, and they know that when they've got support on the outside, the likes of Tommy Goulden, the likes of McNannon, they will present themselves with some opportunities, and Martin Ridyard comes up with the try for Leigh Centurions. Is that enough?
5 tries in the last 4 games now for Martin Ridyard. Good form. There's Ellis on his way to Hull, Millward on his way to Castleford, Ridyard on his way to who knows where. All will be revealed, but he's certainly had a strong season. Robbie Hunter-Paul.
Is Robbie Hunter-Paul gate crashing that conversation?
There's the brains trust. That's an intelligent conversation. I think he's just listening.
McNannon, meanwhile, lines up another conversion attempt. Bang in front of the posts, and this one will sail out of the ground. And now then, Leigh Centurions 34, Dewsbury 22, the scoreline here at the Tetley Stadium.
Well, sometimes we're not privy to what gets said word for word, but a coach as intelligent as Ian Millward may well have spotted something on Dewsbury's right edge, and a set or two before that they broke them, and there were some nice sweet hands.
Well, that restart has ricocheted off Ellis and come up for the Rams. And here's Crossley now, and Crossley rumbling forward, the Bradford Bulls youngster.
Do you think they played for that one?
No.
Here's Brambani, Walker now, Craven and Aidan Farl, and Armstrong with the tackle. Here's Menzies. This is another good response from the Rams. 4 tackles gone. They're within sight of that Leigh try line as Brambani takes the pass. Here's Elliot Cosgrove now. That's the 5th tackle as Cosgrove is brought down by Goulden and Ridyard just a moment ago, combining to create the try, now then defending, and that one is taken by Armstrong, and they'll tap on the 20.
There was all sorts of things going off, and probably the worst thing that Dewsbury wanted was a bit of height on that kick. Along the floor would have been a little bit better. Tom Armstrong being pulled back. It's too quick for George Stokes at the minute.
Thank you.
Leigh wanting to get on with it there. They've lost the ball. Knocked it on, says the referee. James Taylor absolutely, well, incredulous that one, but he's accepting the decision.
How's it a knock on? It's gone backwards.
Well, does he call that the tackle's complete when he goes down here and then he loses the ball?
Unless it hits the floor first and bounces backwards.
So, Leigh again allow the Rams a chance to press their defence. And you'd have to think that Ian Millwood will be looking to improve things if they have got a first versus second grand final qualifier coming up against Featherstone Rovers. Then they're going to have to up their game. And Stuart Donlan saying before the game, the trouble at this time of the season, Challenge Cup final bringing things to a halt, and then a break before the playoffs start. They're not playing regularly as they'd like to be. It's a bit hit and miss at the moment, and it's a bit hit and miss from the Centurions this evening.
They've come up against a tough challenge, and Dewsbury need to score at some point soon. Keep this match alive.
Kicks across the grain, but Ellis read that one. It's the sort of thing he'd come up with.
Well, his last couple of kicks have not come off for Brambarney. Again, trying to play it with speed. Dean McGilvray trying to offload the ball. I'm not sure whether Ridyard will be happy with the pass.
Ridyard thinking, no, oh, right.
No, yours.
That's what we call a hospital pass, that one.
There is McGilvray playing the ball, and Steve Maiden now, very experienced player. There's quite a few of this Leigh Centurion side, the likes of Donlan, Littler, Steve Maiden, 28 now.
Well, you know with senior players, you know when you've got to up the tempo and slow the tempo down. And that man who's in the screen, John Duffy, he knows exactly when to do that.
Duffy once the youngest in Super League when he was a 16-year-old. So he's been around as well. 31 years of age now as the kick comes in, and just going to be too strong.
Well, can Dewsbury do as their opposition did, go the length of the pitch and challenge the line?
The referees allowed Austin Buchanan to get the quick tap away.
Well, he didn't play with much vision then, Buchanan. He's tapped the ball as quick as he can and ran at the biggest man on the pitch.
Hold, go.
Urgency now from this Dewsbury Rams side into the last 10 minutes here.
Go on.
And they need to close the gap again.
It's just these little half breaks. It's just one of these can come off for them.
It's Brambarney, now Walker. Here's Aidan Farrell trying to go right through the middle, but that's where Chris Hill was stationed.
There's good movement from Dewsbury. Sorry, Bill. There's good movement from Dewsbury on that play.
Okay.
Little chip kick over the top, and it's comfortable for Maiden.
Not the best one. Maybe another 6-12 inches is over the head of Steve Maiden.
2, move, hold, go.
Now Maiden.
To the side. Surrender.
Crossley with the tackle.
Standard. Go.
Here is McGilvray.
4, move, wait, go.
Duffy now. And have the Centurions weathered the storm.
Keep working, hold.
Here is Ellis. Kick down the middle of the field. Now the Dewsbury Rams on their way out of the championship.
It's getting harder and harder. The more the clock ticks away, the more difficult it is for Dewsbury to stay in this match.
2, move, 10 meters.
There's the spark player. Come up with some wonderful players, Austin Buchanan.
3rd, move. Point number, hold, go.
Here's Blake.
4, move. Working, hold, wait, Chris, go.
Walker. Spicer.
5,
That's the 5th tackle.
wait, go.
Walker this time, little chip kick over the top. Brambarney chasing that one. Is he going to sit up for him? No, and then he took the player in the air. I think it was Steve Maiden. He was
You took him in the air.
reaction there from Don Brambarney as he went for that kick.
Well, Brambarney trying everything.
Donlan it was.
Yep. The correct decision from George Stokes, the referee. He makes contact while Donlan's in the air going for that ball. Gives the penalty away. but he knows that he's running out of time. He knows that his side need to get hold of the ball. They want to give themselves a chance. And Leigh Centurions, they've been very good in this second half, especially with the second phase play. The amount of times they go into contact, they get their arm free, and someone's pushing up on the shoulder. Exactly what Stuart Donlan was doing on that occasion.
Leigh looking to put the bonus point beyond the reach of the Rams, and that would put the lid on their championship season. Here is Ridyard. Goulden, a strong game as ever from Tommy Goulden. One of the ever-presents in this Leigh side this season. That's the 5th tackle. The short, says the referee. Here is Ellis now. Ellis taking him on himself, Jamie Ellis, and he's got that ball down, or has he? He has, says the referee, and Jamie Ellis rounds off a strong performance with a try to his name as well. And Dom Brambani, the agony shows on his face. 34 for the country's top try scorer, Jamie Ellis now.
Well, he's a talent, Jamie Ellis. And you can see that the footwork that he has, the vision, he just pokes the ball out, pretending that he's going to kick that ball. And James Craven, on this occasion, he can't hold up the scrum half from the Leigh Centurions, but just have a look what he's doing. He speeds up the tempo of his run. He gets the Dewsbury defenders over chasing. He steps off his right foot. And as I said, James Craven, he just couldn't prevent him from scoring that try.
And that has put the bonus points out of reach of the Rams at the moment. With a bonus point, they were still in with a chance of survival. Better points difference than the two relegation rivals, York and Hunslet, who have tricky games this weekend. Hunslet, Halifax, York, Sheffield. Now Nanin. And of course, still to be decided how many will go down, with Toulouse dropping out and decisions still pending on whether Crusaders are going to be involved. Nanin with the conversion. On target, all the points in this second half coming from the Leigh Centurions, keeping the Rams pointless. And they now lead 40 points to 22, and it has been a gutsy performance from Warren Jowett's side. No mistake about that, no doubting that.
Well, Dewsbury haven't given in, and I dare say they still haven't given in. There's a lot to admire about that particular try. Jamie Ellis does most of the work before he gets it, and then the show and go, and that's quality.
Another 20-point effort from Mick Nanin this evening. Got 20 points in the Northern Rail Cup between these two sides. They got the hat-trick in the regular season round at the Leigh Sports Village. Duffy. Oh, and Hill has dropped that. Steve Crossley urging his teammates to pack the scrum, but 4 minutes to go.
That's a good shot. Chris Hill with a loose carry. Maybe it's helped on its way by Luke Blake. But they're going to get another chance with the ball. Can they go over before the whistle goes on this game and their season?
Here's Brambani. On the halfway line. What an effort it has been from this Dewsbury side. 22 points each at half-time, and Dewsbury very much in the hunt, but Leigh have been stronger in the second half.
Bill, it's been the defence in the second half for Leigh Centurions. The control that they've had, they didn't have that in the first half. The retreat's been quick to come off the line coming forward, and again, look at this, 3 players in attendance, making it a slow play the ball for Luke Blake.
Rob Spicer looking at the referee and just asking whether that wasn't a high shot, as he certainly felt it was. That's the 5th tackle, and Walker plays the ball. Now Brambani, cross-field kick, hangs in the air. McGilvery has lost it, and it's picked up by Nanin. Knock on.
There's a knock on by Leigh there, Bill. There's a good challenge while the ball is in the air. Dewsbury They're hurrying to form this scrum. There's players in attendance, and Michael Wainwright puts enough pressure. May well have tackled the lead player in the mid-air. It's Dean McGilvray. Yep, Dean McGilvray.
He's going for that ball, though.
He's going for it. He's going for the ball with his arms around McGilvray's throat.
One of those was awarded against Dewsbury in the first half, I think. Head and feed to the Rams then. The last few minutes here at the Tetley Stadium. Here's Elliot Cosgrove. Craven, outstanding at full-back for the Rams this evening, James Craven. Littler. Brambani. And Walker trying to duck his way through. 3 tackles gone. Blake, Brambani, and Smith, I think, has put that ball down, has he?
Well, Leigh's urgency in defence, both snubbed out. Pat Walker, when he had that ball, Dominic Brambani flashed from one side to the other. He needs a straight runner, and Dave McGilvray, little man on big man. I said 9 times out of 10, a big man will win, but not if you're committed and you put your body on the line. Well done, Dean McGilvray.
Calm down. All legs in.
So Leigh have to settle for second in the championship table. And Dewsbury have to settle for Championship 1 football next season. Penalty for offsides. Ironic cheers.
Well, they're just trying to take the yards off Leigh Centurions now. They know that the game's gone away from them. They want to finish off strongly. 2 minutes to go. Unfortunately for Warren Jowett, they give the penalty away, and again they must defend 30 metres from their line.
Here's Chris Hill. Looking to bow out after a good stint of service at the Centurions with a grand final plate and a grand final win. Here's Ellis now, outstanding in the second half. He plays the ball. Mills. And Mills driven back in the tackle, and that has been a characteristic of this Rams performance. Been some great defence from them.
Heroic at times, Bill.
Here's Ellis, and Ellis's pass is knocked down. Buchanan, if only, thinks Austin Buchanan.
That's a shame. I'd have loved to have seen Austin Buchanan with 90 metres to go, put himself in between 2 defenders. A big risk, a big gamble, but with less than a minute on the clock.
Well, I'm sure Dewsbury... No, I'm sure Dewsbury are going to get the ball here because it was a forward pass.
Right.
So Austin Buchanan, he knocks the ball forward, but I'm sure that George Stokes, which he obviously must have done, is give that there was a forward pass from Leigh Centurions.
But if Austin Buchanan could have got away then, that's... he could still have got Dewsbury within sight of the bonus point. Either trying a goal.
It's not the
But they're the wrong end of the field.
Well, there was a bit of confusion there. An air horn went off in the corner, and I think Dewsbury thought it was the end of the game. In fact, I know they did, because you can hear the players arguing. An offload to Austin Buchanan, and he drops the ball.
That is the end of the game for the Dewsbury Rams. They won't have time to pack the scrum. And dejection, despair on the face of Austin Buchanan and the Dewsbury Rams players. Leigh Centurions bring the season to an end, the regular season to an end, with a treble over this Dewsbury Rams side. And Man of the Match award, 20 points to his credit tonight, goes to Mick Nannin, who's with Rod.
Mick, well done, man of the match. 20 points to you and a bottle of champagne to go with it. But listen, that was tough. You had to really grind them down. It took a long time to grind them down out there, didn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It was a tough game that tonight. Dewsbury had nothing to lose, and you know they needed to stay up. You know, we toughed it out, so we probably weren't at our best, but we got the result we needed, and you know we go back. We've got a week off now, so prepare for the semi.
Talking of weeks off, there's been a break before this game. There'll be a break after it. Are you a little bit ring rusty, do you think?
Yeah, possibly, but I mean we get a good week in next week. Got a full week of training planned, so you know, get that in, and you know we'll be ready for it.
You will probably finish second. There's just a squeak, because if Featherstone get annihilated at Widnes, you could finish top. But does that really matter?
No, we're not too bothered. We'll go to Featherstone. We don't mind that, you know. That's what's happened now. That's done. So we get there, have a go to them.
Well done, Mick. Thanks for talking to us about the match performance. Bringing Ian Millward. Ian, I know this week hasn't really been about you, but obviously there's been the decision to go to Castleford next season. I've got to ask you, has that disrupted things, you think, for the players this week?
Oh, no, my focus is totally on Leigh. You know, we've had a fantastic season, only dropping one game in the league. This is our last league game today. We've got